Okay, have you heard the one where I was a backup dancer? All right, it's not as luxurious as it sounds. I actually was this backup dancer for a gay performer. So, a friend of mine knew a guy who was very eccentric. Well, he didn't have money, so scratch that. What's eccentric without money? Interesting. So he was an interesting guy. And he had dreams of being a performer. And he needed two backup dancers. He had a friend, sweet girl, blonde, cute as a button. And he needed another one. He needed two lovely ladies to do some backup dancing behind him while he performs at all these gay clubs. I met him and decided, any kind of activity that let me dance was going to be, great. So I met him through a friend, and, he was funny, he was cute, he was great, and she was kind and warm. And I said, let's do this. Learned all the choreography. He had performance pieces that were his own. Like he had original music. And so we learned like clumps of choreography, and he decided to get, booked in all these nightclubs. Well, this was about the time that I met Josh. And so we had, just hit it off. And I am now going on tour across the middle of the United States to every gay club that would take us. And so we got in our car. I had to say goodbye to Josh. I just met you. I'm going to be going on tour for a little bit. And so I don't even remember how long it was. I mean, it felt like forever, but it probably was like 3 weeks. I don't know. And we like went to like the middle of America. I don't know what we were thinking. We did have some gigs in New York, but we were going like to Minnesota and Missouri, and we were in the car and we would take turns sleeping in the back seat, listening to Chicago of all bands, and we would get to the club probably around 10 and go on around 11 and perform until 2. Well, perform and then socialize after. This I realized quite quickly that was not for me. But now I'm stuck in the middle of America. He paid me, and but a lot of the times the clubs were paying us in drugs and alcohol. It was an interesting way of receiving payments. Back in the day, getting free drinks and free drugs seemed like a respectable way to live. I know that not to be true today, but it did also, being in your 20s, you could see how, not that we were famous, but you could see how this lifestyle could be a slippery slope down into who knows where. During this, trip, I kind of hit my rock bottom. I need sleep. Like, I don't need to be drinking all the time. I don't need to be doing drugs. I mean, there was a time I think we thought we could read each other's minds. We were so looped. It's not fun. It's just, I hit my bottom and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And he was so desperate to get love, and to be out there. And he, I think, asked us, "Can you just? We got to go to this one more club." And it's like It's after midnight. I'm exhausted. This was at the end of the leg of this tour, and he wanted us to do one more show or meet one more owner. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. And my personality is very much like when I'm done, I'm like a phoenix. Like I burn it down and I'm over it and I will rebuild, but there's no getting through. And I, right then and there, was like, I'm not your friend. I'm only here to be a dancer and hired and get my paycheck and get out of here. And so, like, I was harsh, and I'm okay with that still to this day. So that was pretty much the end of it. I think we had one more gig in New York that I signed up for. In the middle of this, my mother passed away. So we used to wear these cute little hot numbers, which we were it was like a sparkly butterfly top, but like I'm like belly hanging out or whatever, and I felt very safe because the gay world couldn't like look like they weren't looking at us. They were looking at him with his six pack abs and all of that. They weren't looking at us lovely little girls in the back. So like and after my mom died, I had like the morning chubs. I don't know if that's a thing, but like so like the last performance, all my friends came and I was over it. I had, a few pounds on me and I'm trying to remember the choreography, but I wasn't into it. And so that was pretty much the end of it. And I think about him. I hear he kind of got into some dark lifestyles. I know that again, it's probably an easy route to get there. I know the other girl, started a family and is pretty much like living a normal life like I am. So, it's a very interesting adventure. But the discernment that I received from this, was really to try and to feel that desperation, to feel that loving, like they just wanted to be loved, everyone, in these clubs. And that discernment for desperation was, it hit heavy on me. And so like, why do I do these stories? Like, what am I getting out of telling all these stories? It's like, I like to think about like, what did I learn from these situations? And what am I still holding on to? So I did. I learned a lot of what not to do, but I also learned of like what might I be holding on to in these situations, so I can slough this off, and start fresh every single day. So memories have their reasons, and for them to come up and for us to express our memories, it's very healing.